Hey guys! Hey guys, welcome and thank you so much for tuning into today's video. So today I have a curl talk / curl tip video for you guys. So I'm excited to sit and actually chat with you guys. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm excited to talk about today's topic. To get into it, not sure how much you guys are aware of what I'm going to talk about today. I'm not sure if you guys even care about these things, but when I started my natural curly hair journey, I guess you can say, these are some of the things that I looked into and tried to avoid for the most part. I know that there's a lot of debate that goes on with them in the curly hair community, natural hair community for that fact. So I thought that I would kind of chat it up with you guys and let you guys know my thoughts on these ingredients that we find in our curly hair products. To start from the beginning, I'm just going to go through a list of 5 ingredients that we hear a lot about and we're advised to try to avoid when looking for natural hair products. And so I just wanted to kind of break them down for you guys, give you guys a little bit of background on what these things are, why they're so bad for you, why they're even used in hair products, and then give you guys my thoughts on what I think about them. And and maybe you guys can leave me a comment down below and give me some of your thoughts and your views when it comes to these ingredients in natural hair care products. Before we start, I do have notes. So I did a little bit of research just to kind of deepen my understanding of what I already knew of these products. So I did just a little bit of research. I read a little bit more on these ingredients just so I'd have a little bit more information to give to you guys. So I did take some notes. So if you see me looking down from time to time, that's why I'm looking at my notes, okay? So before I start talking about these ingredients, I do want to say that I am not a chemist. I am also not a professional hairstylist. So all this stuff that I know is from my own research and just looking things up. So I'm not coming here to give you guys any scientific information whatsoever or anything professional in terms of using them or not using them in your regimen. But I thought that we can kind of talk about them since they are things that are talked about or mentioned a lot in the natural hair community. So let's jump right in. We're first gonna start with sulfates. Sulfates is basically a chemical that's found mainly in shampoos. The reason why it is bad for curly hair is because sulfates are a very, very aggressive sort of cleansing agent or detergent. So it suds up, as we know, and it basically just cleans your hair really, really, really well. It gets rid of dirt, it gets rid of buildup, it just gets rid of everything that could possibly be in your hair. And with that goes the good stuff that's in your hair. So your scalp's natural oils, so any nutrients or anything that you've added to your hair to really help your hair and your scalp just pretty much gets washed away whenever you use products that have sulfates in it. So this is potentially harmful for us if we're using sulfates on a regular basis because we have oils and things of that nature that help protect our scalp. If your hair is constantly being stripped of nutrients and oils that are protecting your hair is going to become dry over time and brittle, and it's going to break, therefore not being healthy anymore. So there are a lot of great companies out there that are making shampoos with no sulfates. Some of them include Diva Curl, Cantu, Form. So those are just a few, but again, you want to avoid using sulfates because, especially on a regular basis, because it's going to really not help your hair. Of course, if you're looking for like a super clean, like you start to feel like your hair is has buildup and it's just super dirty and you just need to get in there and clean all that stuff away, then I am not totally against using sulfonated, sulfonated a word? I don't know. So I'm not against using shampoos with sulfates. However, I honestly use them very, very rarely. It's only when I like feel like I need to get stuff out of my hair that I will use a sulfate shampoo. There are alternatives to using sulfates. If you want to give yourself a really great cleanse, you can use apple cider vinegar. I'm not really a DIY kind of girl, so I haven't really tried it yet, but I will try it, and when I do, I will let you guys know how that goes. Yeah, I have it in the back of my mind to try an ACV rinse one of these days to actually see if it compares or does better or just as well as using a sulfate shampoo. So if you do end up using a sulfate shampoo, then I recommend following up with a really good conditioner, because all that good stuff that you just rinsed out of your hair, you want to kind of put them back in. So using really great conditioners, using really great oils that kind of help and mimic the natural oils in your scalp are going to help you to kind of bring that moisture back after taking it away with that sulfonated shampoo. All right guys, moving on to the next ingredient that we are told to avoid is silicones. Now, silicone, just to explain what it is a ingredient or chemical or whatever that has this plastic-like characteristic. So what it does is it gives hair great shine, and when hair is wet, it gives it great slip. But because it's like a plastic, what it's doing is it coats your hair and kind of just sits on your hair. So it doesn't allow any moisture to go in or out of the hair. So it's like just creates this barrier that over time is going to cause your hair to become dry and brittle and break, sort of like how the sulfates would do to your hair as well. And the thing with silicones is they are, for the most part, they are not water soluble, so they don't dissolve in water, although there are some that do. And there are some that can be removed with a gentle shampoo. I am not going to get into the chemical name and all that stuff, but you can look it up. There are some that are okay in terms of they're not as harsh as others. So silicones are found mostly in conditioning products because it does give the hair the illusion of being shiny and healthy. So it's more like a fake shine, because if you can imagine like plastic, it's kind of like that plasticky thing sitting on your hair. So the most popular, or the one that you see a lot more used in hair products, is dimethicone, and it's honestly used because it of course gives those properties of being giving great slip and giving your hair that shiny appearance, but it is not very water soluble, and the only way to remove it is with a sulfonated or a sulfate shampoo. So you're kind of like, you know, defeating the purpose. If you're trying to avoid sulfates, then you have to kind of avoid silicones as well, because they kind of go hand in hand. You need one to get rid of the other one. And dimethicone, for example, is used more widely because it's a cheaper cone, as they call it. There are a lot more that are more water soluble, and you find those typically in more expensive hair products. The purpose of a silicone is to be sort of a sealant and something that's water resistant. So that makes sense for girls or guys who like to straighten their hair, because if you apply the silicone, it's going to protect your hair. It's going to be a barrier against that heat. But for us curlies and us naturals who don't straighten our hair and don't really use heat like that, we really shouldn't be using any type of silicones in our hair, because the silicones are creating that barrier and not going to allow you to add the moisture that we so desperately need in our curly hair. Keep that in mind. If you are using products that have silicones, you have to follow up with a sulfate shampoo or something like a apple cider vinegar rinse that's going to eliminate all of that gunk out of your hair. I avoid silicones for the most part, but there are times that I do use them, unfortunately. I don't mind using them as much in rinse out conditioners because it's not something that's gonna sit and dry on my hair and then become hard. So I don't mind it as much if my rinse out conditioner has a silicone, although for the most part I just try not to use them. But if I do, I'm not too upset about it, as opposed to like, I don't want my leave-in or my styling products to have silicones. And when I do use leave-ins and styling products that have silicones, I will typically, when I wash my hair, wash it with one that has some type of cleansing agent in it. One product that I love the results that it gives me, but I know it has silicones on it, so I don't really use it as much, is my Dad Curl Quencher. When I do use it, as I mentioned, I will follow up with a shampoo that has sulfates in it, unfortunately. But again, whenever I wash my hair with sulfate, I will condition the heck out of my hair. I will add moisture, add moisture, add moisture any chance I get. I will keep my deep conditioner on for an hour plus. I'll add some oils and rub some oils in my scalp. I'll do the most whenever I use sulfates because I know it needs it after that. So the next ingredient that we are advised to avoid as naturals is parabens. Actually, not just naturals. Everyone should avoid parabens. You can usually identify a paraben by the ingredient which has the ending of the word paraben. So it's not just paraben that you'll see as the ingredient, it'll be the ending of the word. So basically what a paraben is, it's a preservative. So it gives products a longer shelf life. And so that's why most companies who use parabens use it. A paraben, when it's absorbed into the body, it mimics hormones and it disrupts the functions related to, our bodily functions that we do on a daily basis. So hormones, of course, reproduction, waste elimination, digestion, your metabolism could be affected by it. And the parabens are closely match the hormone estrogen. When there's an imbalance there, it's found that it can potentially lead to breast cancer. So there's a lot of concerns around that and women and being linked to breast cancer. From all the research that I did, I didn't find anything that is conclusive to say that parabens directly cause cancer, but because of the way it affects the body, it can potentially cause some type of imbalance in your body that might cause cancer. Again, nothing's been found, nothing's been proven, it's just speculation. So a lot of companies, even though it hasn't really been banned from products yet, a lot of companies are removing parabens, not only from hair products, but skin products as well. That's really great that a lot of companies are already ahead of the time and just looking for different ways to preserve their products in a more natural way. I did read up that companies will use ingredients like lavender and some other oils that are really great or help to preserve the product better and not have to rely on parabens. Those three are usually the top three that you hear a lot of bad things about, or that you see a lot of companies that don't use them promote that they don't use them. For instance, I have a bottle of Diva Curl Super Cream here, and they always advertise on their bottles that they're 100% sulfate, paraben, and silicone free. And then I also have a gel here from Eden Body Works, and on their packaging, they have a paraben and sulfate free. I'm not sure why they don't have a silicone free. Let me see if I find any silicone. So sometimes it's hard because they're disguised with different names. Moving on to the next ingredient that I want to talk a little bit about is phthalates. So phthalates is very similar to parabens in the sense that it can potentially disrupt your bodily functions, which can potentially cause cancer in the body. And the crazy thing about phthalates is you'll never see an ingredient on your products named phthalates. It will be disguised in words like perfume or fragrance. So if you see that listed on your product, most likely it has phthalates in it. And what phthalates are is they make plastics softer, and it's kind of like a lubricant in products. So that's the information that I found on phthalates. I've always read, for instance, on Shea Moisture and Maui Moisture don't have any phthalates in their products, and I used to read it and be like, phthalates, what is phthalates? At first I didn't even know how to pronounce it. I used to say phthalates. One of my viewers actually corrected me on that. Definitely want to avoid that. So any type of chemical or anything that could potentially cause harm to you, we want to stay away from, of course. All right guys, so my last ingredient that you should avoid in your products is one that's not too bad, but if I kind of explain where it comes from, you'll understand why you probably shouldn't use it. And the ingredient is mineral oil. In my research, I found that mineral oil is actually a very benign or mild ingredient. It doesn't really do any harm to us as people. It is an oil, so of course an oil is great for hair. It's, you know, it helps to seal moisture, it gives shine, which we always want to kind of incorporate some type of oil in our regimen. So a lot of companies use mineral oil honestly because it's cheap. So thinking about like silicones, dimethicone again, the price, it's cheap and it does the job. But thinking about us people who have curly hair, moisture is key, nutrition is key. So adding nutrients to our hair is great and very beneficial. And the way I look at it is, if I'm going to be adding oil to my hair, I might as well add oil that has some type of nutrients like coconut oil, argan oil, jojoba oil. Those are plant-based, natural derivative type of oil. So they're really going to provide the same kind of results that mineral oil will give you, but yet have some type of nutrients in your hair. And the reason why mineral oil has no nutrients in it and doesn't do anything but add shine and seal your hair is because it is a derivative of petroleum, right? So mineral oil comes from petroleum, which comes from crude oil. Okay guys, I know, just stay with me, we'll get there. Crude oil is what they use to make fuel for our cars. So how it gets to mineral oil is by diluting and processing the oil. In that kind of process, they're eliminating all the toxins. So all of the research that I did, I found that it's very, 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 very highly unlikely that mineral oil will have any type of toxins in it. But you can never be too safe, and that's why I avoid mineral oil, because just knowing where it comes from, I'm a little, I don't know, iffy on that one. I would just rather use products from companies who use plant-based oils, right? So some of them are, well, I have one here. So Cantu advertises right on their bottle that they have no sulfates, no silicones, no parabens, and no mineral oil. So I see that they use like shea butter and coconut oil instead of using mineral oil. So there are, believe it or not, products out there that, you know, categorize themselves as natural hair products yet use mineral oil, use, you know, silicones, use sulfates. So really have to be careful and make sure that you're reading your labels if you're looking to avoid these things. So guys, that is it. I am done rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm hoping it's not too long, but I thought it was important for me to kind of come on here and talk about some of these ingredients that we're constantly hearing about that are not good for us, that we shouldn't use. And so I just kind of wanted to give you guys a really great in-depth kind of look at what those ingredients are and why they're used and what we could do in place of it, or you know, why we should avoid them. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a pleasure being here with you guys today. What is that? Anyways guys, so thank you so much for watching, and please leave me any comments you have below. Let me know your take on these ingredients. Do you care that they're in your products? Do you avoid them? Are you like, no sulfates for me, no silicones for me, no, none of that? Again, for me, sulfates and silicones are used with caution. Parabens, no. Phthalates, no. Mineral oil, no for me. But yeah, guys, that's it. I am going to get a drink of water because I've been talking too much. But thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. It mimics hormones in the body and disrupts. Let me just read this because I'm not explaining this right. So I keep saying sulfonated. I don't know if that's a word or not. You guys let me know in the comments. Is sulfonated a word? It sounds right, but I don't know. All right, guys, moving on to the next ingredient.